What is an S corporation? A corporation is a business entity that is formed by filing formation documents with the state. Just like other entity types, an S Corp is a separate entity from its owners. This means the liabilities, assets, finances, and etc. are different from the individuals that own the company. If you're setting up a corporation, by default, it is a C Corp. The owners have to elect to become an S Corp. In an S Corp, the owners of the corporation are called shareholders. An S Corp can elect to pass through the profits or losses of the company to the shareholders. This means an S corporation can avoid the double taxation of a C Corp. So, how do you become an S corporation? Remember, a corporation is taxed as a C Corp by default. To become an S corporation, simply apply to do so with the IRS. Let's talk about ownership. Who owns an S corporation? Owners of an S corporation are called shareholders. One key difference between S Corps and C Corps is that S corporations can only have 100 shareholders. And those shareholders have to be people, like real humans, like me and you. And that means that companies cannot be shareholders of an S corporation. Let me just say that again. This means that companies cannot be shareholders of an S corporation. Also, non-resident aliens cannot be shareholders of an S corporation. For example, if you're the holder of a United States visa and you don't have a green card, you may not be a shareholder in an S corporation. Management. Who manages and operates the S corporation? In an S Corp, it is mandatory to define the board of directors. It is the board of directors that manages the corporation. They set the company policy and make major business decisions. What about operations? Who really operates the S corporation? In an S Corp, it is also mandatory to define officers. These are roles like president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. The officers of the corporation implement the policy set by the board of directors, and the officers run the day-to-day operations of the S corporation. Let's touch on bylaws. Corporations must have written bylaws. You may ask, what is a bylaw? Thanks for asking. It's like an operating agreement, but in an S Corp, it's called a bylaw. Bylaws outline the policy of the corporation set by the board of directors and other rules that the corporation should abide by. Formalities. Corporate formalities. In an S Corp, there are certain formalities, they're simply mandatory. You can't get around them. Some of them are annual business meetings and more. For example, the shareholders and board of directors of a S corporation are generally required to hold annual meetings. The agenda for these meetings should be in writing. The corporation is also required to maintain sufficient business records, including bank records. So listen, we've looked at various aspects of an S corporation. It clearly offers certain tax advantages like pass-through tax while offering good corporate structure and governance. That's important. It's a good idea to understand the difference between an S Corp and a C Corp. And you know what? Pick the one that's best for you.